just to the fur. So what will happen is it's attached to the fur, kind of like when you get paint in your hair.
Right.
It might annoy you a bit, but it's not really going to be that much. And because seals go through a catastrophic molt every year, that'll fall off within a year.
You mean the tag will fall off within a year? Yeah. So actually, you have a very small window of opportunity to track that particular seal.
That's correct.
Okay.
Actually, that goes to the other point. When you say it doesn't bother us, it probably bothers us more that we put a $4,000 tag on and it falls off than anything else. I mean, there are other methods that you could use that can get a little bit more evasive, but we try to be, minimize how evasive that we are. So we err on the side of putting the tag on so that it will fall off, so we can get, if we get 30 days worth of data from a seal, I'm happy with that, because that will tell me the seal is going out, doing what it's supposed to be doing as a normal wild animal. After that, everything that we get is kind of gravy. The seal that we released last year, we got 112 days worth, and it was up in the high Arctic. So.
Oh, really? So it went that far?
Yes, it actually went left here, right out of Long Island Sound, and it was a harp seal, so it was an Arctic seal, and it went back up to where we would normally find harp seals.
Isn't it interesting? They have their own radar, I guess, to say this is home.
It's amazing how we don't really understand how they would navigate, but some of the tracking work that we've done over the years, we've seen animals do some really interesting things. We released an adult gray seal a number of years back, and we released it from Ponquag Bridge. It got out of Ponquag Bridge within a day, went up through Cape Cod Canal, and then went to a bunch of rocks that are actually at the mouth of the Bay of Fundy, south of Grand Manan Island, that are really only exposed at low tide. I mean, we've only happened to see them because we do surveys up there at times, and so at times we'll see seals there, and sometimes we won't. But it's like the rocks are literally in the middle of nowhere. It'd be like us walking down the beach and deciding we're going to just pick one spot, and we find it randomly. And I get a kick out of it because everybody does it from sea level, right? We're trying to navigate here, figure out where we are. We're looking at the coastline. We have to do it from 5 feet up. They're just doing it from sea level, and they can figure out. So I don't think we give a lot of these animals as much credit as they deserve for being able to work in their environment. And that's where the rescue program as a partnership comes in, where we work with our community, but working with the animal. We're only here to help it get back on track. It's not a matter that we're trying to come out here and grab an animal, bring it in, and say, okay, we're going to provide care forever. We want to just give them that leg up if there's some problems, like the animals we have with broken jaws or things. That might be a time where it just wouldn't be able to fend for itself as much.
Right.
And if we can get them over that hurdle, they don't really lose any of their basic ability to go out and be a seal.
That's wonderful. So what percentage would you say that you work with seals versus turtles or porpoises, dolphins, whales?
Well, rough numbers, it's probably 60 to 70% are really harp seals in general.
Okay.
And then we go...
And they're endangered?
Seals are protected.
Okay.
The sea turtles are endangered or threatened.
Okay.
And so for the way it really works is we have seals, sea turtles, and then we have whales and dolphins.
Okay.
So, on our whole, probably about 20% of them would be sea turtles, and then the 10% would be cetaceans. The difference is that whales or dolphins are actually bigger, so they take a lot more effort whenever something does occur, even if it's an animal that comes up and is in need of care and we have to bring it to our facility. Some of the animals that you've spoken about being on our website are animals that we worked with for 8 months. And to do treatments, we can look at what we did when we tried to tag the seal and think about that as a treatment. It took 4 or 5 people for us to do that. When we're doing a treatment on a dolphin, it takes 6 or 8 people in the tank with the animal. It takes at least that many on the outside of the tank, and then some safety people around. So we're talking, about 15 people per treatment, and we'll do that, 4 or 5 times a day. So it's a huge, huge workload. And without the help of our volunteers and interns, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Would you like to tell our viewers how they can volunteer?
Sure. One of the ways that you can volunteer is actually go to our website, www.riverheadfoundation.org. We have orientations on a monthly basis, and you can come in and find out how you can help. And then from there, you can go through our training.
And something else you could do on their website, which is totally fascinating. You can see the live exhibit of where the animals are actually in their habitat right there at the rescue center.
That's right. We were able to have them. You can view them online, so you can get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes tour, like we were doing the other day, and get an idea of what we do and maybe where your animal came, what it's doing, where it is in its progress. We try to update the public. So we found over the years that many people who walk the beach, find a seal. They're always interested in how it's doing, so they call in for updates. So we're able to try and get that information out a little bit more readily that way.
Do you want to tell us about the seal today and where you found it?
Well, actually, this seal here, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
As far as we'll do a little bit of briefing and then we'll follow up.
Okay.
Because what we're looking to do is find out what the school actually decided to name the seal.
Right.
It's a surprise to us as well. But yes, it is a gray seal, and we were able to put a satellite tag on it. And as I said, gray seals have been coming up all around the island. It's actually been an interesting last couple of years for us in that gray seals are starting to strand at a higher frequency than some of the other animals. And one of the reasons why we think that might be happening is because we're starting to see more animals around. So as I use the example of kids on a playground, we're having more animals in the area, so then we'll just tend to see them.
So the food supply is diminishing.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean the food supply is diminishing. It just means we have more animals here. So if you just use basic math and said 10% of our population is going to get sick and we have 100 animals, it's 10 animals. If we have 200 animals, it's 20 animals. So I think that what we're seeing is just more animals here. So we're seeing more of those cuts, scrapes, bruises, broken jaws, those factors.
And is there any way to monitor how many fish are still in the area?
There are a lot of groups that go out and try to monitor what's going on in our environment, and some of those partnerships are things that we're always looking to explore, so that not just our data that we collect from tracking we can use, but we can work with other biologists and say, what are you out studying? What are you looking at? Water quality issues and things like that. It's going to take a multidisciplinary approach to be able to answer some of these questions.
That's great. So we're excited.
Yep.
We'll look forward to
Thank you.
carrying on and
Very good.
releasing the seal.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, people. I'm Tara. She's right just now. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Rescued on April 12th, and he was rescued from the Swordfish Club, which is in West Hampton Beach. And I was actually going to rescue him off the beach, so when we first saw him, he wasn't really acting like a seal. He was a little bit lethargic, and what happened was we brought him back to the foundation, and he actually had a broken jaw. So, when he first got here, he really didn't want to eat, so what we had to do was we put him on fluids first. So just like when you go to the hospital, he was a little bit dehydrated, wasn't feeling too well. We gave him fluids, and then we switched him over to like a fish milkshake. So he started getting reintroduced to fish. And then after he got reintroduced to the fish, he actually got switched over to real fish. Now he didn't really want to eat first, and he wasn't doing too great. And then all of a sudden he started eating on his own, and it was really good. And now he weighs about 82 pounds. So he's nice and big. Ready to go.
I feel so happy that he just went back to his home. It's just so exciting to know that, well, but he's better.
Okay, here's your adoption. Here's your sea turtle adoption.
Oh my goodness, look at this. This is Elvis.
Yep, and here's your packet.
My real Elvis dog.
for both of you here.
Oh, and this is a real picture of that Elvis.
Yep. Look at that.
Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you can adopt your own sea turtle.
By going to riverheadfoundation.org, and you can follow the links and take on an adoption of a sea turtle. Seal.
And monitor it live on the website.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So, when will Elvis be released?
Probably in the next couple of weeks. Usually in the middle of the summer we do this. So we kind of wait for other turtles to be seen in the area, and then we wait to see if they get a little bit bigger. If it gets a little bit bigger, maybe we put a tag on them. But it's really the size that we're working on right now. But it's
Rob, thank you so much.
much.
This has been a wonderful experience. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed it.
And please, we need your funds to help continue this wonderful service that you're doing. Thank you so much. Let's Talk About Animals is sponsored by Pet Fest and the Pet Philanthropy Circle. Meow.
Let's Talk About Animals, hosted by Jewel.